What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Inside You, the College Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Xavier Audick, and we are here today to discuss the first couple of games in the new college basketball season, and I am excited, kicking things off right away, the Champions Classic. This has been pushed up from years past, which means we're going to get a couple of marquee games right away. Kansas taking on Michigan State, Duke taking on Kentucky, so let's get right into it. First things first, talking about this Kansas-Michigan State game, the first game. Kansas favored by 5 points there. Going into the season, very interesting season for this Kansas team. There's a lot of questions regarding the mindset that the team and Bill Self are going to come in. Kansas, one of the teams that was consistently named and connected to the pay-for-play trial that just played out recently in New York. This was the first of many trials, so throughout the season we're going to learn more and more information about how closely connected and what the head coaches at these programs knew. So certainly a question of what kind of mindset this team is in. As a result of some of the information in that lawsuit, it looks like Silvio De Sousa will not play. De Sousa and his legal guardian were consistently linked and named in the lawsuit as people who either accepted or were given money to get a player to commit to that school. So, looks like he'll be out. Now, looking at this game, one of the big X factors for me is the size differential between Kansas and Michigan State. In Kansas, they've got Udoka Azubuike. This guy is a very impressive player. He's got great skill set, very impressive footwork, a very dominant player physically, 7 foot tall. Had he not been injured for most of last season, very likely that he would have gone to the NBA, but he is back, and that bodes well for the Jayhawks. Furthermore, Kansas benefits from the Lawson twins finally being eligible after they transferred from Memphis, and that combination of Azubuike and the Lawson twins, as well as Gerald Langford, he's going to be Vic LeGerald, bodes very well for the Jayhawks. And Michigan State, they've got to replace a lot of production given to them by Jaren Jackson and Mikal Bridges. Going to be interesting to see how they manage to do that. This is already a team that struggled last year to put the ball in the basket. Their last game of the season, they lost to Syracuse in March Madness. Final score there, 55-53. Just an example of the type of loss. But this Michigan State team, just with that style of play, this is a Tom Izzo team. They're going to play defense. They're going to play rebound. And that always makes them dangerous, especially if they can get the Jayhawks in a hole early. Now, the matchup for me that will be interesting is the dominance of Azubuike versus the three-point ability of Cassius Winston and Matt McQuaid. These are two guys who can knock down the three. If they can do enough to keep Michigan State in the game, especially in the closing minutes, it would not surprise me to see the Spartans come out with a close victory. But Cassius Winston and Henry Ward are going to have to step up. It's going to be very interesting to see how this game plays out. But like I said, I think that Kansas gets the job done here. That 5-point spread seems right for me. However, if there were a game between these two that I think would result in a blowout, it'd be this game, just because I know for a fact that this Jayhawks team can score. We're not so sure about the Spartans, but should be a fun matchup to watch. The one good news for the Spartans is that while they give up significant height to Azubuike, he was only a 43.1% free throw shooter, so maybe they go with the hack-a-shack style of approach, and even with him in the paint, if the Jayhawks are unable to knock down their outside shots that he'll likely set up because of the attention he's going to command, this game could be a lot closer than expected. So, should be interesting. And then the real kind of main event of this evening, although both games are very interesting, the Kentucky and Duke game. Certainly I got a bit of a tickle out of it given the pay-for-play scandal that has plagued college basketball and is currently paying its way out in New York City right now. Kentucky head coach John Calipari has very much been the face of the one-and-done culture. However, what's interesting about this team is that Kentucky is the team that has the leadership and the experience, while Duke is getting all of the press for its talented freshman trio. Looking at this Kentucky team, again, like I said, they got the experience. P.J. Washington returns. Having a steady level of experience with a veteran ball handler like him should bode well for the Wildcats. Also, they benefit from the grad transfer of Weed Travis, a former Stanford player. He was a 2-time All-Pac-12 player. Very interesting addition for the Jayhawks, given his skill set and what he can do. And then you've got Tyler Hero's three-point ability. If this Kentucky team can just do what Calipari teams do well, get up and down the floor quickly, play defense when they need to, they should do very well this year. Conversely, in Duke, if you missed it, you should go check out the Earn Everything series that's on ESPN Plus right now. Very interesting to see because it gave us some insight into what Coach Krzyzewski is dealing with right now, trying to mold this team and blend in these talented trio of freshmen. That's Zion Williams, Cam Reddish, and RJ Barrett. Many have said that of the three, Barrett is the most likely to be the first-round pick. We're going to get to see the first glimpse of him and what he looks like against a fellow team of NBA talent tomorrow. Now, with that being said, both of these teams have had significant time to prepare for this game. Both of them took trips abroad. Kentucky going to the Bahamas, Duke going to China. And looking at the rest of this Duke team, it's really going to be a question for me of what type of defensive philosophy Coach K plans on utilizing. With the speed, strength, and size that this group has. If they were to go zone, that tells me that he is concerned about their ability to guard guys one-on-one. Zion Williams is very much a man-child. He is a very impressive physical freak. However, it'll be interesting to see how his game molds in the college setting. He won't be able to quite dominate people as physically. However, I really think this game is going to come down to the matchup of Reed Travis and Williams, assuming they end up guarding each other. Very much a skill versus size matchup, and it should be interesting. This game I can easily see being just a back-and-forth war. Very likely that the team who ends up winning does so on a last-second shot, and I think it'll be a lot of fun and a great way to kick off the college basketball season. However, I do think Kentucky, with that experience, is able to exploit and get the job done. While this Duke team has had a lot of exposure just because of the press that these talented trio of freshmen have brought, we're going to get to see them really play a true neutral site game tomorrow. They're going to get all the press, all the exposure. Dickie V will be there calling the game, and it's really going to be interesting to see how they respond, especially early on. So I think the Wildcats pull it off, but it will be a very interesting start to the season. A lot of questions will be answered, particularly regarding Kansas and the mindset that this program is in right now as it deals with the allegations put upon the program due to the pay-for-play scandal. So that's it for me today, guys. Again, this is Xavier Audick. I am the host of the Inside You College Sports Podcast. Please make sure to subscribe if you like what I just say today, and tell me what you guys think, who's going to win, and what are we in store for this season. See you soon. Bye.